commitment to skill acquisition, New Zealand has introduced relaxed visa requirements to revitalize the tourism sector. The federal government has assured eliminate any form of political influence on the conditional cash transfer scheme. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Walda, gave the assurance while featuring on a television program on Monday. He stressed that in collaboration with the World Bank and civil society organizations, he would ensure that the conditions attached to the scheme are strictly met by the beneficiaries. Professor Yuga highlighted that the conditional cash transfers will be fully digitalized, relying on the national identification number and bank verification number to ensure transparency. The minister also revealed that Nigeria's social register currently includes 19.8 million people, though only 1.2 million individuals have been validated so far. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has commenced gas licenses to qualified players in the sector following frequent collapse of the national grid. The grid that has so far recorded one collapse after many months in 2024 has plunged several parts of the country into hours of total darkness. A statement on Monday by NMPDRA's media unit by Jamila Adama explained that the development is in line with President Bola Tinubu's directive to ensure all power generation assets receive the gas needed for a robust expansion system. The authority has, however, given a note of warning to all off-takers to ensure the steady supply of gas to the generation companies or have their license revoked, as no act of sabotage will be tolerated. On education, the economic transformation of any state or nation depends significantly on education and skills development. It was in view of this is grounded in the understanding that education and skill acquisition are critical drivers of sustainable growth. The Ogun State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabenta, made this submission during an inspection of the ongoing rehabilitation of the Government Technical College at Yegunle in Iweko local government area. Mr. Olabinton, who is the Vice Chairman of the Steering Committee for the State Economic Transformation Project, OXTEP, noted that the whole idea is that there cannot be economic transformation without prioritizing education and skill acquisition, which are essential for the state growth. He also called on community leaders to collaborate with the government to ensure the sustainability and effective use of rehabilitated technical colleges. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has attributed an explosion that occurred at a mining site in Niger to illegal stockpiling of explosives. He made this known in a statement by Special Assistant on Media, Shegun Tomori, on Monday. Suggests the explosion was caused by the illegal stockpiling of explosives by one Yeshua Mayopala, a resident of New Bosa. The minister said that Mr. Mayopala was believed to have been involved in purchasing and storing explosives and their accessories in a house in Sabo Pegi, Mashegun local government area. An explosion was reported at a mining site in Sabon Pegi located in Mashegun local government area of Niger State on Sunday. Head of the European Union delegation to Nigeria and Economic Community of West African States, Ambassador Goita Mignot, has called on ECOWAS to adopt a new approach in its dealings with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger collectively. Speaking in Abuja at a media briefing on Monday, Ambassador Mignot expressed the EU's regrets over the withdrawal of the three nations from ECOWAS, emphasizing that regional integration is vital for prosperity and stability. Drawing parallels from his experience with Brexit, the envoy, who also doubles as head of delegation to ECOWAS, highlighted the importance of negotiation and dialogue in managing such exits. While urging ECOWAS to do dialogue, he noted that the EU would continue to engage with the AES countries by maintaining humanitarian aid and adapting development cooperation to focus on supporting local populations amid the Sahel's growing security and humanitarian crisis. You are listening to the Midday News on OGBC 90.5 FM. New Zealand has introduced relaxed visa requirements aimed at attracting digital nomads and individuals who work remotely while traveling. The move, designed to revitalize the country's tourism sector, would allow visitors to work remotely for foreign employers while holidaying in New Zealand for up to 90 days, after which they may be required to pay residence taxes. The country's immigration minister, Mrs. Erika Stanford, described the policy as a boost for the economy, saying that the change will enable many visitors to extend their stays, which will lead to more money in the country. New Zealand's tourism industry, once its largest export sector contributing more than $40 billion annually, has struggled since the COVID-19 pandemic forced border closures. The economy remains in a fragile state with inflation, stagnant growth, and rising unemployment, leading many to seek opportunities abroad. The Kremlin has said that it was still waiting for signals from the United States about a possible meeting between Russian President Mr. Vladimir Putin and his US counterpart Mr. Donald Trump. The leaders of the two countries last week expressed readiness for contact, but neither side has indicated when or how. The nearly 3-year Ukraine conflict has plunged relations between the two nuclear powers to their lowest levels since the Cold War. President Trump, who took office on January 20, told newsmen on Thursday that he was willing to meet Mr. Putin immediately to reach a deal to end the fighting. Kiev has warned against being excluded from talks between the two leaders, accusing President Putin of wanting to manipulate Mr. Trump. Thousands of displaced Palestinians will be returning to the north of war-ravaged Gaza after Israel and Hamas reach a deal with the release of another 6 hostages. The Israeli government on Monday said that 8 of the hostages held in Gaza who were due for release in the truce are dead. The fragile ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas is intended to bring an end to more than 15 months of war began with Hamas' October 7, 2023 attack on Israel. Israel had prevented Palestinians from returning to northern Gaza, accusing Hamas of violating the terms of the truce. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office later said they would be allowed to pass after a new agreement was reached. Denmark has unveiled plans to boost its military presence in the Arctic and North Atlantic region. Copenhagen announced on Monday that it will pump an additional 14.6 billion Danish crowns into security. The announcement came as a European country resists demands from United States President Mr. Donald Trump to hand over control of Greenland. Denmark's defense minister, Mr. Thorelsen, let it out in the statement that there are serious challenges regarding security and defense in the Arctic and North Atlantic. His announcement came as Danish Prime Minister Mr. Mette Frederiksen prepares to meet the leaders of France, Germany, and NATO this week to show up European unity on Greenland. On sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will play all their group stage games at the 2025 African Cup of Nations at the capacity complexes Sportif de Fez. Fez is a city in the northeastern part of Morocco. Eric Chell's men will open their campaign against the Taifa Stars of Tanzania on Tuesday, December 23rd. It would be a second ever meeting between both countries at the AFCON finals. Their only meeting was at the 1980 edition of the AFCON, which ended 3-1 in favor of Nigeria. The Super Eagles will do battle with the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia in their next game 4 days later. No nation can develop beyond the aspiration of our people. Think and act positively for a better Nigeria. To end the midday news, another look at major items. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Professor Mentawe Yuwada, has assured Nigerians that there will be no political influence on the federal government's conditional cash transfer scheme. During an inspection of the ongoing rehabilitation of the government's technical college at Jevule in Ewekoro local government, the Ogun State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabinto, reiterated government's commitment to skill acquisition for economic transformation. He also heard that New Zealand, we also heard that New Zealand has introduced relaxed visa requirements to revitalize the tourism sector. The midday news was edited by Elizabeth Koforigian and broadcast from OGBC Abeokuta. For exclusive program and the latest news updates, visit our website at openradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Open Radio Abeokuta and on X at OGBC 90.5 FM. And also listen to OGBC on the Radio Garden.